can bake bread that shifts world events, Asuma Kasuma is in the midst of completing his greatest bread yet.
There are those who have devoted themselves to a single way of living, whether it be obsessed about tennis or card games. And then there are those chosen few who have been bestowed upon them the burning desire to bake. Asma Kasma is one such person. Yes, today our outgoing world-class bread baking protagonist was indeed baking. He was baking with such ferocity and determination that the heavens seemed to shine upon him, and his solar hands. He mixed and kneaded and measured until daybreak, when finally he could exclaim,
"I've done it! I've completed jump on number blah blah, the curse that bread!"
His bread-baking comrades could not resist but to drop their stereotype task and run to him and wonder exactly what Azuma's newest bread would hold for the world. Would it end world hunger? Perhaps this time it would stop global warming. Only one thing has to be done. There was only to taste it. Kawachi's hands reached out tentatively to taste this wonderful new bread. His mouth watered as he wondered what world this bread would send him to. It was just then when Kai burst through like a true man lord.
"Fool!
He cried.
Do you think you're manly enough to taste this bread first?"
And with that, he snatched the bread away from an enraged and frustrated Kawachi, whose rage and frustration caused him to say,
"What the hell?"
in an exaggerated comedic fashion, fulfilling his comic relief character who would have won the day. Not as comedic as my super run-on sentences. Kai held the bread in his hands. It was still warm. Actually, it was scorching temperature, but that didn't matter to Kai, because he was a man! Really hot bread is a requirement of being manly. He turned to look at an audience that was all in his head and thought to himself,
"One day, Asuma Kazuma, I will surpass you. One day, I will become the ultimate world-class baker."
He looked inspiringly into the eyes of the audience that didn't exist and dreamed of being world-class. It seems everyone wants to be world-class these days. He lifted the bread to his mouth and was about to take a bite when a manically laughing clown came out of an interdimensional clown warp hole and drop-kicked him into next Tuesday. Joy! Everyone loves clowns, especially French clowns named Pierrot.
Woo! You are not the world bread judging clown. I am the bread judging clown.
He lectured a Kai who looked next to unconscious.
I do the bread judging.
Everyone stared at Pierre with mouths agape as he took a huge bite out of Azuma's Japan curry stand bread. There was a moment of anticipation as they waited for this world-class judge's reaction. It was back in Pierrot's youth when he was still getting off his feet as a world-class clown. He would occasionally look out from behind the circus curtains at a circus family and admire their wonderfully, colorfully, dazzlingly beautiful costumes. He hoped that one day he would have a costume of his own that would require so many adjectives to describe it. He looked down at his own purple, red, green, white costume. Surely there was something he didn't have yet. It was then when his good friend Kid popped his head through the circus behind him.
"Hey, Piero, good luck up there, man."
Said Kid with his thumbs up.
"Here, take this."
And with that, Kid passed him a long piece of white cloth. Pierre was confused.
"What's this for?"
He said, now contemplating his new treasure.
"That's my lucky random piece of fabric. Good luck up there."
Hero held this new coat into his hands. This was it. This is what he needed. He put the fabric on the floor and scrutinized it. He walked around it and critiqued it from every angle. And then finally, with much determination and expression, he wore it. He wore it the only way he could fathom wearing a long piece of white cloth. Like underwear!
"And that is why I'm the fashionable clown I am today."
Concluded Pierre, and he turned and surveyed the people behind him, unconscious or not. They stood there in silence.
"Underwear?"
Kawachi was the first to speak up. And then he was clubbed over the head by a massive fist that happened to be manager's fist.
Kawachi, don't you get it, you idiot?
But Kawachi was in no condition to respond anymore. Asuma popped his head out from behind manager and asked him,
Do you understand?
No, I do not understand.
Asuma turned to Kai's imaginary audience and thought to himself,
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I can't understand. That's it, Ozma. You made it live.
Piero exclaimed as he shouted Asuma in crazy clown affection. And then everyone hurried off back into their 2D anime dimension, where they would bake bread that shifted world events forever.
Apparently out in this world, there's an awesome, excellent animated feature filled with adjectives and bread that I need to watch, because that would be the only way I would understand exactly why that bread could have been important. That was entry number 16 in the novice division, Yakitate Japan, brought to you by Sarah McIntosh, Christine Hugh, Diana Robescu, AJ Filetto, and Joseph Cashews.